Buying and selling art, of course, can be a tricky business. Tough to figure out what can make a painting valuable. Rob Cowley back on Morning Live. He is the president and consignor of Canada Fine Art with some tips on adding some beautiful pieces to our collection.
Definitely.
And we're also talking about the Hollywood effect this morning because actually it was just in the news a few weeks back. Maud Lewis, the biopic Maudie in theaters. And of course, that's an amazing story.
It is. It's had a huge effect on our market at auction as well. She was a Nova Scotia artist, as the movie portrays. Lived in very limited means. Had some physical issues throughout her life, including arthritis. However, she painted these incredibly bright and positive and beautiful paintings.
I guess you'd categorize it folk art?
Folk art, exactly. And then in 1965, actually, CBC ran a documentary on her, made her instantly famous.
And it exploded from there.
Exploded. She sold the paintings for $5 each. But now with the movie, what we're finding is a huge amount of interest.
My daughter's a huge fan of Maud Lewis. We actually took her to see the little house, which they have installed at the Nova Scotia Art Gallery.
It's a tiny shack.
It is. It's the size of your typical garden shed.
Yeah,
That's
right.
where she and her husband lived.
Where they lived.
And quite prolific, and like you say, selling them for $2 and $5 off the roadside in Nova Scotia. And now
our recent spring auction, our live auction in May, we sold a work for $36,000, which is the record, 5 times its estimate.
And five times before the movie came out.
Before the movie came out, the movie was already rumbling. Certainly, news of the movie was well known, and we had more interest in the artist than I've ever witnessed in my years at auction.
Yeah.
And what's happened since the auction, as well as we've had many clients contact us and consign even more fantastic works by Maud Lewis.
Because she was quite prolific. How many pieces are out there?
There's hundreds, if not thousands, I would say. I mean, certainly the 1965 documentary, really, she received letters and visits from people internationally. The White House has 2 of her works actually in their collection. Nixon's administration actually contacted her for 2. For 2 paintings. She wanted the money up front for them, but she did send them. And so that really spurned her.
Well, it was Richard Nixon.
Oh, exactly. You got to be very careful there. Absolutely.
I'm not a crook. I'll pay for it.
Exactly.
But that's not the only. Now, usually prolific artists, the price tag goes down.
It certainly plays a
role. But the Hollywood effect has an opposite effect.
It does, and I mean with Maud Lewis as well. We have collectors of Maud Lewis who only collect Maud Lewis. There's an interest in her, and accessibility with her as well. The scenes are beautiful, simple scenes.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
And the story plays a huge role. Her life as well.
There's other examples too, though. I think of Lauren Harris, of course, and Steve Martin is a huge fan.
Absolutely. Member of the Group of 7. The huge exhibition last year. We sold a painting for just under $1 million last spring, and certainly the interest was not hurt by the fact that there was an international exhibition that included Steve Martin as one of the curators. We have a Group of 7 work actually here in the middle with us today, a work by Franz Johnson. So a little tiny work right here actually in the center. And this little painting, there's actually a canvas that portrays the same scene, so that affects the value. It's a work on paper, it's a smaller work, so only about $3,000 to $4,000. He was also, as you said, very prolific, and so that does affect his value as well at auction.
Now, he left the Group of 7 early on, but he was an original.
He was an original member of the Group of 7. He did leave the association, and then it became a bit more commercial than the other members, and that does have an effect on his value as well. His works can sell between $10,000 and $20,000 or more, but certainly not as high as, let's say, Lauren Harris.
And Tom Thompson, who died before the Group of 7 actually formed, but he was a major influence.
He was a major influence.
And I think you've got a piece from his brother.
We have a work by George Thompson. A perfect example right here of how the artist can affect the value. George Thompson was Tom Thompson's older brother. Tom looked up to him as an artist and as an individual. Historically, however, this work by George Thompson is valued about $700 to $900. The contrast, his younger brother Tom, we recently sold a work this spring for $125,000. His work can sell for millions.
Yeah, but it's surprising you can get some great Canadian pieces at an affordable price. I know you've got an exhibition coming up.
We have a selling exhibition coming up actually at consignor.ca as well as at our gallery on Dundas Street across from the AGO in Toronto. One of the works included is this work here by Greg Curnow.
Perfect for Canada Day.
Perfect for Canada Day. So starting next week on our website actually, consignor.ca.
Thank you so much. We'll link that at chch.com.
Thanks, Bob.